Today I'm going to be reacting to Tom Ferry's video, the best 5 scripts every agent needs in today's marketplace. I've sold over 5,000 homes and earned over $30 million in real estate commissions. And I'm going to be able to add value and context to these scripts because as we watch through all 5 of these scripts, I'm going to be pausing the video and giving you the nuance and the insights and the expertise you need to take these scripts to the next level as you implement them into your business. So let's dive into the video right now as we look at the best 5 scripts every agent needs.
Today we're going to add 5 scripts that are going to make you even more money. Hey, welcome to the Tom Ferry Show. Today, I want to talk to you about 5 scripts that can build some confidence and ultimately help you win more business. You know, many years ago, I learned that sales is the ability to ask a series of questions that naturally and automatically lead you and the prospect to a mutually desired end result, a yes or a no. No maybes involved. So again, sales is the ability to ask a series of questions that naturally and automatically lead you and the prospect to a mutually desired end result, a yes or a no. So my question for you is, do you have enough sales confidence, enough sales scripts and dialogues, so in the moment of truth, you know what to say? You've heard me say before that knowledge equals confidence, and ignorance equals fear. When I know what to say, I'm more likely to take action, more likely to ask for the order, more likely to ask for the appointment, more likely to go engage with the prospect. But when I don't know what to say, suddenly doing paperwork or going to the bathroom or finding something to eat is a far better use of my time. Knowledge equals confidence and ignorance equals fear. Today, I want to give you 5.
Okay, so before we jump into the 5 scripts, I want to point out a couple things here. He's saying you need to know what to say in your business, and that is absolutely true. And to add value to that statement, it's the value of your questions. The quality of your questions determine the quality of your results. And the quality of your questions is the quality of your success in the real estate industry. So you want to have, when he says know what to say, it's not knowing the answers, it's knowing the questions. So you're going to find that these scripts are probably questions that you're going to be asking. So when he's saying you have a toolbox or a tool belt or, you know, these scripts, I want you to think, do I have the questions in my business? Do I have the questions that I can ask the buyers, the sellers in different situations to uncover and help them uncover intelligence from them that I can then use in my business to help them, guide them moving forward to their path, to their desired goal? Or will I help them, ask them a question that will help them discover something that they didn't know they desired? Because people's behaviors are usually driven by something in their subconscious that's driving it. Now, they don't really know what they want. So let's dive in.
Sales dialogues, 5 scripts, not in any order of importance, and some of them go together and some of them don't. But the point is to simply add them into your sales toolbox. So the next time you're out with a prospect, you know what to say and you get one step closer to that yes. So let's take a look at 5 that you can add in right away. Number 1 is, what's important to you in the agent you choose to represent you? What's important to you in the agent you choose to represent you? Now, I love that question because it's a value elicitation. I'm trying to discover what are their values as it relates to choosing an agent to represent them in a purchase or in selling their home. Would it be great if you could just ask the client, hey, how would you like me to sell and influence you?
Okay, what's important to you in the agent that you choose to represent you? So what's important to you? If you looked at his body language, and I could take it back and show you his body language, what's important to you in the agent you choose to represent you? So in the context of this script, if it's face-to-face, notice the body language. He's saying you, and then he's saying the agent you choose. So the body language, and remember, it's not just the words you say, but it's the body language that they're picking up on, the agent you choose. You're almost like saying subtly, choose me to represent you. Because here's the truth, that you have to understand the fundamental truth of a buyer. They don't really care about you. They care about themselves and their goals and their desires and their wants. You're an ends to the mean. So this question is really bringing up a problem that they didn't even know exists. See, there's problem aware and problem unaware. They're not aware that choosing the right agent is really important. So he's helping them discover that problem by bringing it up. What's important to you when it comes to the agent? If I was to add value to this even further, I would say I've used this in my business, and I've trained hundreds of agents to do this at a high level, is what are the 3 things you are looking for in the agent you choose to represent you? What are 3 things? So I'm going even layers deeper on this. So he might go with what's most important, and then what else? What would be another thing? Because if you're working with more than one person, which is going to happen 80% of the time, you might say what's important to you, what's most important to you. And those oftentimes are different.
And ask that. But you can ask, look, you've met lots of agents, you've been online. Now that you know what's important to you and the agent you choose to represent you. Well, gosh, Tom, we're looking for someone that's going to do a lot of marketing, have lots of communication, get us the highest possible net proceeds at the lowest possible cost and the shortest amount of time. If they tell me all that, now I can custom make my presentation to feed into their criteria, giving them exactly what they want and ultimately win the yes. So that's a very powerful question, and I hope you add it in. Let's look at number 2.
Again, he's talking about adding that into, the context he gave you was he's added that into the listing presentation. So he's going to a homeowner's house and he's competing or not competing and he wants to win the listing.
If there was an advantage in time, money, and marketing exposure, would it be worth just 15 minutes of your time for us to get together?
Okay, so this right here, is there an advantage in, time, money, marketing for 15?
Advantage in time, money, and marketing exposure, or better yet, any one of the criteria they shared above. You can use that criteria and alter this. If there was an advantage in time, money, marketing, would it be worth just 15 minutes of your time for us to get together?
So this, to get together, is a close that he's talking about. He's on the phone. So the context is I'm on the phone with somebody and they're thinking about selling or not thinking about selling, and I'm trying to get an appointment to tour their house or do a listing presentation. And maybe even you find out on the phone that you're competing, or they've already have an agent that has already given them a CMA or market analysis and a listing presentation. And you're saying, if there wasn't an advantage in your situation for more marketing, more time, more effort, more net proceeds, would it make sense, like a trial close, right, to get together? It's not only just a trial close, but it's also what we call a take-back close. I'm not sure that I'm the best agent. I'm not sure that I have better marketing than the other agent you met with. I don't know, but I sure would like to find out. When can we get together for 5 minutes and go over my marketing? You can compare it to the last agent and choose the agent that's best for you. That's called a take-back close. I don't know, but I sure would like to find out. So that's a variation of how to close on this as well. But there's a couple other key points here. He talks about 15 minutes, right? That comes across salesy sometimes, but it's important because it's a promise. So if you say 15 minutes on the phone and you go to their house, you better have a stopwatch going, because real estate is about doing, telling the truth and doing what you say you're going to do. So if you told them 15 minutes, here's a tip. Go to their house, start the timer, don't tell them. When you get close to 15 minutes, you go, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I've really enjoyed your house and I have so much more to tell you, but I promised you 15 minutes. Is it okay for me to continue on? And I guarantee it, 99 times out of 100, they're going to say, no, keep going. Keep telling me more. I want to know more. Plus, we haven't even seen the sales yet. And so now you got their permission to go deeper and longer. And you know what I'm saying? And it's also a trial, like you know where you stand at this point, right? Because if they say, no, we're good, the last agent was better, hey, you need to step up your game a little bit.
Very, very simple yet effective script that the vast majority of people just simply aren't thinking about. I'm thinking about what's important to the client, and if I can deliver that to you in 15 minutes, would it be worth it? Now, where does that work? What if I've already found out that they're meeting with another agent? And I say, well, if there was an advantage to get a second opinion that could cause you to save time, make more money, and get greater marketing exposure, would it be worth 15 minutes of your time? They're going to say yes. They're going to be open to that possibility. So that's a very important script that should be in your sales toolbox.
Okay.
Look at number three.
Number 3.
You've heard me talk about this before. If the home's not selling, then it's not compelling to the buyers in today's market. If the home's not selling, it means it's not compelling to the buyers in today's market.
All right, so if the home's not selling, it's not compelling to the buyer, and the marketplace determines your value and your outcome, right? It's not the agent. So the context here that Tom's giving you is he's talking about your home. You listed the home, it's on the market, and it's not selling. So I just want to be very, very clear here. And to Tom's credit, he only has 8 minutes and he has 5 scripts. So that's why I'm going deeper here. The home's on the market, it's not selling. You as a listing agent probably want a price reduction. You probably don't want to be blamed for it not selling. And so you need to be proactive as a listing agent, you need to be proactive and communicate with your homeowner. Otherwise, if they call you wondering what's going on, it's a completely different conversation because you don't have the control, and they're going to question why you haven't even called them to tell them what's going on. And so he's saying, call them and let them know, hey, listen, your home's been on the market for 21 days and we are actively marketing it across all of these different channels, and we've had showings or no showings, but it's not compelling right now to the buyers. And so then you go deeper there. Well, what makes it more compelling to the buyers? One, right? We could upgrade your house. Probably shouldn't do that midstream, or we can adjust the price. And adjusting the price opens it up to, number 1, more buyers. Number 2, makes it more compelling, more valuable. They'll see more value in it, right? Because obviously there's buyers in the marketplace. They're just not choosing your home. I believe in your home. I love your home. Remember that point. I want you guys to really pick up on that point. When you say that buyers don't want their home, you need to reaffirm that you believe in the home. Because as soon as a homeowner thinks you don't believe in the home, you don't believe in the price, they will question you. They will look for other people that believe in it.
Is market. And if you remember that presentation I did on the Tom Ferry show, we talked about, you articulating in your marketplace, what are the 3 to 4 types of properties that are compelling? Is it just price? Remember, if you lead with just price, that seller potentially is going to be a little bit nervous, right? Oh, you just want to lower the price. So I would say, finish with price at the end, or make that the bow that wraps them all together.
Okay.
The properties that are compelling are opportunity properties. Zoned R2 lot with a single old house on it. That's an opportunity for a builder, as an example. It could be prime location, near a school, near the freeways, whatever it may be, near the subways, prime location. You know your market. You know what makes a property compelling. And then, of course, you can wrap price at the end. So that's another great script you should be using all the time. Number 4, have you had any thoughts of selling, and do you know anyone who's had any thoughts of selling?
Okay.
This great script, our wonderful client Tim Smith, and now tens of thousands.
So he's talking about, have you had any thoughts of selling, or do you know anyone that has thoughts of selling? And there's a couple things here. One, the context. The context is, number 1, the person that you're seeing at a network event, family or friends, sphere of influence, center of influence, which is contractors, vendors, and people that you pay money to. Just out of the blue, hey, I'm a real estate agent, right? Without saying that, you can just say, have you had any thoughts of selling? And it's early advice I got in my career that you have to be able to ask the question. When you're in business, you have to put yourself out there, meaning you have to ask for business. You have to be open for business. You have to be, your doors have to be open. And as a real estate agent, we don't have brick and mortar doors necessarily, and you don't want to do floor time. That's a waste of time. You want to, in your conversations, be like, hey, have you thought about selling? Because, and I love the word because. The reason I ask this is because I want to be there for you when you do decide. And if that's right now, great. Secondary question is, right, obviously the odds are they're not ready to sell unless you know it, right? Unless it's just teed up for you. So the follow-up question is, do you know anyone else? Now, I want to make this even better for you. And it's called a statistical script I use when it comes to referrals. Statistically, Mr. and Mrs. Friend, sphere of influence, center of influence, you will run into 3 to 4 people this year that are thinking about buying or selling. Would you do me a favor? And if there's my sphere, my friends, of course, they're going to say, yes, I'll do you a favor. Great. Thank you for that. If you do hear them, that they're at work, at the office, at an event, would you let them know that I would be contacting them so that I can serve them at the highest level? And can I count on you for one thing? Can you get their name and number and send it to me so I can make sure I call them? Because here's the thing about referrals, everybody. They don't call you, right? I've had this happen in my career. They were like, hey, Nick, I referred you our friends to sell their home. Did they get a hold of you? And I'm like, no, they didn't get a hold of me, right? So what I learned was I need to instruct and help give guidance to my referrers and tell them, like, hey, get their name and number, send it to me so I can control the situation and make sure the ball's not dropped.
Of clients all over the world, they're using these questions as a simple way as you're out in your day-to-day activities, in line at Starbucks, going to the grocery store, at the dry cleaner, meeting with a friend, like talking to anybody.
So he's saying you're out.
Always be.
So he's, like I said, he's saying you're out and about.
Being listing focused by saying, hey, I'm just curious. Have you guys had any thoughts of selling? Have you guys had any thoughts? Have you guys had any thoughts of selling?
And anytime someone says to you, because they know you're in real estate, how's the market doing, right? What's going on in the marketplace? I heard interest rates are up. I heard interest rates are low, or up. I heard their interest rates are down. I heard the market's slowing down. I heard the market's speeding up, right? This is that segue into, awesome. Well, obviously something sparked your interest about housing. What is it about housing that intrigues you, right? Have you thought about selling? Have you thought about buying?
Selling? Have you guys had any thoughts of selling? It's such an easy no-brainer question. Then you shut up. Have you guys had any thoughts of selling? Well, that's a yes. If they give you the definitive no, we love our house, we're totally great. You and I both know, like you just asked the next question. Well, do you know anybody who's had any thoughts of selling? Well, funny you ask, my brother-in-law's been thinking about it, or they just got pregnant, or they just got divorced, or something just happened. So
now, I'm shaking my head because that would be ideal situation. Yeah, of course, I know my brother's thinking about selling. Odds are it's a no. That's why I like my script. It's probably a no, but you are going to run into somebody. That's for certain. I know that 100% of the time you're going to run into someone.
Now, there's that opportunity for a referral as well. Those two questions added into your sales toolbox are going to make you more confident and win you more business. Let's look at the last one, number 5. In the moment of truth, when we're talking pricing on a listing appointment, most agents have one pricing strategy. We believe that there's actually 3, and what we have to do is decide tonight which is the better option for you. So, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, number 1, we can price the property above the comps. We refer to this as the trying to find the needle in the haystack. Pricing the property really aggressively above fair market value, above the comps, looking for that one buyer who may buy your home. Number 2, we price it right at fair market value, which is what the vast majority of people do. And then for my most savvy clients, we actually create a bidding war by pricing it just below fair market value. We then do all of our marketing and unveil the property to as many agents and buyers as possible, creating a bidding war opportunity for your home. Of those 3 pricing strategies, which is better for you? Very, very powerful. Now, I know as we're going...
Okay, so we're in the listing presentation. We've done our CMA. We have our comps. We have our price. And he's using a choice. So I want you to understand that in influence, in psychology, like a magician, giving the other person the illusion of control is a power position, right? So Tom's giving advice like stay in the authority, stay in control, the person asking the questions in control, but give them the illusion, or it's real, that they have a choice. There's 3 choices. You can price it above my price I gave you. You can price it right at the price I gave you, fair market value, or you can price it below. Here are the pros and cons of each. Which one do you want to choose? So he's not asking you open-ended, what price do you want to list at? That's really confusing for people. It really is. He's not, he's not even giving them a recommendation. In my career, the last, I say the first 1,000 listing appointments, I probably was open-ended. What do you want to list at? What are you thinking? What do you want? Which is even worse. That's a big mistake. What do you want? Okay. And then throughout my career, I might have done something like this and was worried about an overpriced listing. I was super worried about it. And then as I progressed and have done thousands and thousands of listing appointments, I just went in there with so much authority and control that I would just say, what I recommend you do is I recommend you list at this price. And the recommendation would wipe away the need for doing this about 50% of the time. Now, here's the thing I want you to know. Obviously, he wants to avoid an overpriced listing. And number 3 is the savvy choice. Did you notice that? That's the savvy choice. That's the smart choice. That's the most popular choice or the choice that my clients that have seen the best success have chosen. See what I did there? So I changed it up a little bit. Number 3 is the one that the clients that I've had in the past, that the ones that chose that one, their home sold for more money, netted more, and walked away with more money. Here's the problem with pricing it below their home. They don't want to do that because what if it doesn't sell? So I'm going to give you a tip here. I don't want to give your home away. I want to be able to create as much demand as possible because price is a function of supply and demand. So by pricing it below the fair market value is going to create a lot of demand, an auction-like effect. That auction-like effect is likely to give you the most money. Now here's the thing about selling it below market value. The seller, the homeowner's thinking, that sounds great, but I have no place to go and I'm not in a hurry. So I want you to add something there. If you have a homeowner that's not in a hurry, that doesn't have a place to go yet, simply say, right, we price it below fair market value, get a bidding war, tons of demand. And because you have tons of demand, you will be in control of your timelines and your closing date, right? If you price it too high and you only have one buyer, that buyer is going to dictate to us the closing date and the timeline. And I don't know if you're anything like me, you want to be in control of your timelines.
Going through this, and this is kind of a shorter Tom Ferry show.
I hope you got a lot out of this reaction video, and I hope I added value to these 5 scripts that will help grow your business and convert more appointments and get more appointments. So if you like this content, subscribe to our YouTube channel, leave a comment below if you have any questions, or send me a comment or put a link in there of another video you would like me to react to and review and add value that you have questions on that I can go deeper with all my experience selling over 5,000 homes. I want to see those videos, I want to react to them, and I want to grow your business. We also have a newsletter, 123mainstreetnewsletter.com. Go to the description, sign up for the weekly newsletter. There's lots of value in there. I'm committed to this real estate sales, real estate industry, growing your business, growing teams. So I'll see you on the next video.